We are set to make our picks for every NFL game against the spread in Week 8, and it features the largest group of bye weeks we've seen all season with 6 teams off, including the Lions, Rams, Seahawks, and Jaguars. There's no international game this week, and the race is tightening up with the lead now gone. Lock in. Before we break down every Week 8 spread, do us a solid and subscribe. Your support is everything. Now, let's get to the picks. We kick things off with Thursday Night Football and the Minnesota Vikings visiting the Los Angeles Chargers. An interesting historical note is that Carson Wentz holds the best Thursday night record of all time at 7-0 as a starter. The big question is who will start at quarterback for the Vikings, with both Wentz and the injured J.J. McCarthy as possibilities. If it's Wentz, you know you're going to get a mix of highs and lows. On the other side, Justin Herbert threw for a ton of yards last week, but the Chargers' defense was awful, and the team is dealing with significant offensive line injuries that are hindering their identity as a run-first team. The Chargers are favored by 3 points. One side likes the Chargers to get back on track at home, while the other believes the Vikings are due for some takeaways and will cover, potentially with a big Thursday night from Wentz. The early Sunday slate on CBS features an intriguing matchup as the Chicago Bears travel to face the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are favored by 6.5 points, which seems to indicate that Lamar Jackson is expected to play despite not practicing yet this week. The Bears have found their stride, particularly on defense, generating pressure and playing opportunistically. Offensively, they haven't put the full burden on Caleb Williams, instead establishing a strong run game with DeAndre Swift, who has over 300 all-purpose yards in the last 2 games. One pick is for the Bears to keep it close and cover the spread, citing their improved, physical style of play. The other side believes that if Lamar Jackson plays, the Ravens' desperation and pride at home will lead them to a win and a cover, feeling their season could be on the line. Another 1 p.m. ET game on CBS has the Atlanta Falcons hosting the Miami Dolphins. The Falcons are favored by 7.5 points. The Dolphins are in a state of turmoil, with quarterback Tua Tagovailoa being benched after throwing 3 interceptions in back-to-back games and head coach Mike McDaniel making concerning public comments. The Falcons' plan will likely involve a heavy dose of Bijan Robinson, especially since the Dolphins have struggled to stop the run. Atlanta's defense has also been a surprising strength this season. Both sides are aligned here, taking the Falcons to cover the large spread at home against a reeling Dolphins team. Also in the early window, the Cincinnati Bengals are 6.5 point favorites at home against the New York Jets. Joe Flacco, coming off a strong performance, gives the Bengals a downfield passing element they lacked with Jake Browning. The Jets, meanwhile, are a mess. They benched Justin Fields only to see backup Tyrod Taylor struggle mightily with turnovers. The consensus is that the Bengals have too much firepower and will take advantage of a Jets team that leads the league in missed tackles, a sign of deeper issues. The pick is for the Bengals to cover. Shifting to the non-CBS early games, the San Francisco 49ers are 1.5 point underdogs in Houston. The 49ers' offense has leaned heavily on Christian McCaffrey, who had 33 touches last week, while quarterback Mac Jones has been serviceable but not spectacular. The Houston Texans are viewed as the more desperate team needing a win, and their defense is considered really good. One selection is for the Texans to win outright at home. The other side believes the 49ers will control the game's pace with their run game and that Kyle Shanahan will scheme around Houston's defensive strengths, taking the 49ers to cover. The New York Giants, coming off a brutal fourth-quarter collapse in Denver, head to Philadelphia where the Eagles are 7-point favorites. This is a rematch from a few weeks ago where the Giants stunned the Eagles. The challenge for the Giants is to get their young team back on track emotionally. The Eagles are expected to be better prepared and to re-establish their running game with Saquon Barkley. One pick is for the Eagles to cover at home. The other side, however, believes the Giants' physicality will keep the game within the number, even if they don't win outright. The Buffalo Bills, coming off their bye, are 7.5 point favorites on the road against the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are likely without starting quarterback Bryce Young, meaning veteran Andy Dalton would start. While Dalton is capable, the Panthers' winning formula has been to run the ball, but playing from behind against Josh Allen makes that difficult. The Bills have never lost 3 straight under Josh Allen, and he is historically strong coming off a bye. The pick here is for the Bills to cover, expecting them to start fast and force Carolina to abandon their game plan. In a game with major AFC East implications, the New England Patriots are 7-point favorites at home against the Cleveland Browns. The Patriots have been transformed by the coach and quarterback combination, with Drake May playing at a spectacular level, making explosive throws and adding a dangerous element as a runner. The Browns are limited offensively, and while their defense is tough, the belief is that May and the Patriots' offense, bolstered by key offseason acquisitions, will be too much. The pick is for New England to cover the touchdown spread. The late afternoon slate is headlined by the Dallas Cowboys versus the Denver Broncos, a 4:25 p.m. ET game on CBS. The Cowboys are 3.5-point favorites in a game with a high total of 49.5. The Broncos are riding an 8-game home winning streak, thanks to a miraculous 33-point fourth quarter last week, but their offense has often started games slowly. The Cowboys' Dak Prescott is playing at an MVP level, and their offense can score in bunches. One pick is for the Cowboys to cover, with the expectation that the game will be a high-scoring, loose affair. The other side also likes the Cowboys to cover and agrees the game could go over the total. In another late game, the Indianapolis Colts are the largest favorites of the week, laying 10.5 points at home against the Tennessee Titans. The Colts' offense is averaging 33.1 points per game, fueled by a strong offensive line and an efficient Daniel Jones. The Titans, meanwhile, have a major problem at quarterback with rookie Cam Ward struggling mightily with turnovers. While there is a slight concern about a letdown from the Colts after a big road win, the pick is for them to cover the large number at home. The final 4:25 p.m. ET game has the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as 4.5-point favorites in New Orleans. The line has moved down from an opening of 6.5. The Buccaneers are coming off a tough road loss where they also lost star receiver Mike Evans for the season. This sets up as a potential letdown spot on the road. One pick is for the Saints to keep it close and cover, potentially even winning outright. The other side is backing the Buccaneers, believing they won't lose 2 road games in a row and that Baker Mayfield will bounce back. On Sunday Night Football, the Green Bay Packers are 3.5-point favorites on the road against the Pittsburgh Steelers. This marks Aaron Rodgers' first game against his former team. The Packers, currently the NFC's number 1 seed, haven't even hit their stride yet, with their receiver core getting healthier. The Steelers' secondary looked old and slow last week against Joe Flacco. The pick is for the Packers to cover, with the belief that their well-coached team and ascending quarterback will be too much for Pittsburgh. The week concludes on Monday Night Football with the Kansas City Chiefs as 10.5-point favorites hosting the Washington Commanders. The Chiefs' offense has scored 30-plus points in 3 straight games, looking like their old dominant selves now that they have receivers who can stretch the field. For Washington, the status of rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels is in doubt with a hamstring injury, and even if he plays, he could be limited. Their defense has major issues, particularly in the secondary. The pick is for the Chiefs to cover the large spread, with the expectation their offensive firepower will be too much for a struggling Commanders team. That's all today. For more unique angles, deep dives into the stats, and analysis that goes beyond the traditional headlines, make sure you subscribe to Beyond the Box Score. Let us know your picks for Week 8 in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.